guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are talking about, yes, you guessed it, water. It's not really a lot to talk about. However, I just wanted to bring to your attention that at the moment, and again this is exactly where we are living, I've been struggling to find some fizzy water in the bottles. I really don't understand why. There seems to be not huge issue with a normal flat water. However, literally I could not get anywhere, Lidl, Asda's, Tesco's, I couldn't get anywhere any of the fizzy water. And yes, if apparently this is not really a necessity for a prepper to have a fizzy water. However, I prefer drinking the fizzy water up against the normal water. My other half prefers the normal water. However, it comes to prepping, of course, you need to concentrate on non-fizzy water because you can obviously cook with it and you can drink it. So why obviously preparing, why having water? Well, we all know obviously electricity. If you do have a massive power outages, obviously your water might not be available, like we already experienced in few places very recently. So it's very important. Anyway, to cut the story short, guys, the fizzy water, I have to be driving to a Booker wholesale where I normally buy the fizzy water. And first of all, I was rather shocked that they had a limit of 3 of any water to buy. We're talking about wholesalers, so basically I can only buy 3 of the fizzy pack of 24, 3 of those ones. Yes, they did a different, like they had the bigger bottles as well, but I prefer for us, for our own things, to keep majority in the smaller bottles. And apparently a shortage was due to supply chain issues. It made me chuckle a little bit considering this, normally the spring water comes from like Harrogate, so it's like supply chain issues from just like up the road, which is, yeah, made me laugh a little bit. But nonetheless, so apparently the supply chain issues with the water, I don't know whether it's applicable to general supermarkets, whether they're just not telling us, or whether you have shortages. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you do have shortages in your local shops or not. I do mention again, guys, it probably is area dependent, and we do live in like quite a rural area, so there's quite a possibility that it is only applicable to me. However, anyway, this was the case. And second the case, guys, the water's actually gone up pretty much double in price. I know they're talking about inflation's being like 10-11%, but it's almost gone up by like double. It's like 100%. What's that for inflation? I expected a rise of like few pence, but no, I was absolutely shocked. And although the water, like this one is going till July 23rd, but because I'm rotating that whilst I can still buy it, and obviously I go through a lot of it, that's absolutely fine. The normal water, that's got a date of 24. If you keep it in the dark, cool, dark place, then absolutely no problem at all. And then many of you say, oh my God, obviously it's a lot of space. Yes, it's a lot of space. I think we only have like 100 of liters stored in water, and purely because of the size and the sheer space that you need to keep the water, especially if you need to keep in a cool, dark place. However, right, you can buy those bottles, or you can refill whatever bottles there. And somebody in the comment actually mentioned that you can actually store them underneath your plinth in the kitchen cupboard, underneath the kitchen cupboard. So thank you very much for this tip. And maybe a few of you will find this helpful, because we all have kitchen cupboard, they all stand on their feet, and you easily fit the bottles there. I've tried it, and I think it's absolutely a brilliant idea. So if you are lacking a bit of space, have a look underneath and see how much space you have. Don't forget, I would put a bit of tape on the top just to stop them leaking, just in case, but I think it's a genius idea. So thank you very much for whoever did that. So anyway, this is what I choose to prep and obviously to keep as a water supply. We are talking for ourselves, right? We have one of those IBC tanks. It's one of those big caged water tanks that we bought locally for about £40. You've probably seen them around there quite often. They're on the farms, but basically it's 1,000 litre tank. If you do choose to buy one, obviously connect it to like your roof or somewhere, but it's a brilliant idea. We did this, it's connected to our chicken coop with a roof, so it collects water. So if it rains a lot, we have basically 1,000 litres always available to hand, whether it's to flush the toilet or whatever else we need it for. Which brings me to the next thing. You can buy, which I'm sure we all know, is the water purification tablets. Those ones are by Oasis, and I bought them in my beginning of my prep, and I've paid about, I think, $1.99 or something like this on Amazon, and this is to clear about 1,000 litres of water. So each tablet will do us 20 to 25 litres. Yes, it will be slightly chlorinated smell, however, it's there and basically able to purify water that you can drink it. I would quickly go on this. If you wanted to buy some, get on it now, because they've now already doubled in price. I think the cheapest one I've seen is like £4 99 almost, I think. But have a look. Obviously, there are different packets of tablets, so have a look how many liters you think you might need or want to have, and the price obviously dependent. But it is the Black Friday weekend, or Black Friday week, a few days. So have a look and see if you wanted to buy some now, because I think the price of those things is only gonna go up even higher. So, and another thing I wanted to bring to your attention, guys, you can buy, of course, I understand you might not want to spend money on the bottled water, and I appreciate, of course, it is not particularly environmentally friendly, but we are talking potentially like not the end of the world. But if there's no water, in the end of the day, I don't care about environment, but my priority, make sure that we actually have water, and I'm sure that'll be for everyone. You can buy, and but I don't have an empty one, is those 10-liter plastic containers for water with a little tap. My one currently is filled with homemade apple cider vinegar. However, you can buy them and you can fill them with water, with the tap water if you wanted to. It probably works out, depending if you can get them cheap enough. It's up to you guys. They are fairly cheap. Not as cheap, I think, is to buy in like the bottled water, especially the bottles if you can find cheap ones like that. But you get to keep the container, you can reuse it, and it's more environmentally friendly. At the same instance as well, as I mentioned, I can't get, and I mentioned that on the other day when I went to Aldi, the bottled water, they only had the multi-pack of 4, and it was like £1.39 or something like that. I didn't see any individual bottles, and again, for ages I couldn't see any in our local Lidl, which are still very, very cheap, because I know you guys are commenting. So if you can get them, this is probably more cost effective and more environmentally friendly, and you can still reuse those bottles for storing like rice and other bits anyway. So basically, yes, so this is my plan for preparedness for when there's no water. We have an IBC tank in the back, it's 1,000 litres. We also have a small, like a water butt, it's 100 litres, but it's not particularly, because it's exposed a little bit to elements, the water is not particularly clean. I probably wouldn't want to drink it, but it's there if we need to flush toilet. So I always have, and I suggest it to you, keep like your containers from, oh my God, like a 5-litre one from a fabric conditioner I have, and you can always have a water sitting there to put in your toilet cistern. Yes, of course, if you have a water bath outside, you might think you don't want to worry, but in the middle of the night, if you get up for a wee and there's no running water, it's handy to have something ready rather than going outside and filling up your little bucket or anything else. So anyway, so the aim is, I think I would love to stock more water. I think ideally I want to have sort of good 200-300 litres of water in the house just in case, but it's not always possible. But hopefully, guys, you find these sort of ideas of having other alternatives and where to keep the bottles at least a little bit helpful. So if you do, then don't forget thumbs up. Please comment. I would like to know, definitely would like to know if there's any issues with water anywhere, and I'll hopefully see you again very soon. Bye bye.